June 17th, ferocious Hurricane Dora struck one of the islands of the British West Indies. Ocean-going ships were crushed like toys and tossed up on razorback reefs. One ship, the SS Minerva, went to the bottom just offshore in 70 feet of water. Robert Lambert, a scuba diver hired by the company which insured the Minerva's cargo, found the ship. He was inspecting her hull when suddenly a spear flashed by him. His assailant was reloading an arbalete. Lambert didn't wait for the second spear. Lambert was doomed by the superior strength of the murderer. His body never came to the surface. He would never tell where the Minerva lay. The killer would never tell what secret the cargo of the Minerva carried. The Carib Insurance Company had also sent for me to dive with Lambert. I didn't know that I would soon be facing the same mysterious killer. A seaplane brought me from Silver Springs to the island. Bad weather in the wake of the hurricane delayed the flight. When I finally arrived expecting to meet Lambert, I was sent instead to appear on the waterfront.
Hello, Mike Nelson?
That's right. Mr. Hanson of the Carib Insurance Company?
Yeah. I see my secretary finally get a hold of you.
At the hotel. I'm sorry that I missed Lambert this morning. I was about 6 hours late getting in. Lambert here?
No, that's why I'm down here, to identify his boat. They found it on the rocks. Empty.
That's all we have found so far.
This is Inspector Saunders, the island police. Mr. Nelson.
How do you do, Mr. Nelson?
Well, you suppose that he's trapped down there in the Minerva?
Well, we don't know.
Did he mark the spot?
We haven't found a marker.
There's only one other man who knows where the Minerva went down. He's a West Indian the natives call Lord Christobal, sort of a local celebrity.
Oh, where'd I find him?
See the old Spanish fort up there?
Yeah?
He's a caretaker. Lives up there. I'm going to be tied up here for a while. You suppose you get on up there right away and get to work? You make whatever arrangements you need. I'll take care of the bills.
Okay. Lord Christobal, huh? The fort was a massive relic, over 500 years old, filled with blind corridors and stairways that led to nowhere. If Lord Christobal was here, I didn't seem to be able to find him. And I became aware of someone singing. Calypso singing.
Dive deep in the big fish belly. Swim like the fishes if you can. Make a believe you're not just a man. Dive deep in the big fish belly. Swim like the fishes.
Shut up and listen to me.
Big fish belly.
Chris, will you stop that blowing noise and pay attention to me?
That could be Lord Christobal.
Lambert's disappearing down there. Disappearing, I say, without a trace. Like he was swallowed.
Dive deep in the big fish belly.
It was a hex.
But who was the other man?
That's right, what else?
What do you mean?
Listen, I tell you the Minerva is hexed. That's why she sank. That's why Lambert disappeared down there. Is it worth £2 a day to die like he did?
Trying to scare me out of my £2? Or you go put no hand on me?
All right, but you'd soon find out £2 ain't worth hexing yourself for. Who are you?
My name's Mike Nelson. You're Lord Christobal, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to talk to you for a moment, please, huh?
Just a moment, not so blooming fast. I know what you want. You're from the Carib Insurance Company. Well, this man's under personal contract to me, see, and I say he don't work for nobody else but me.
What do you say?
You want him to show you where the Minerva is, don't you?
Now, what if I do?
He's got no diving gear.
Let's go someplace else and talk, shall we?
You're hexing yourself, I tell you. Do you think this charm will save you?
Action yourself. What are you talking about?
He says that's why Lambert didn't come up.
That's nonsense.
Is it nonsense that he'll starve after you've gone? If you work for him, you're finished with me. If you run out of me now, you'll never work for Webley Salvage again. I need him for my work.
What are we fighting for? I'm going to be needing a boat. And you're in the salvage business. You've got everything that I want. What do you say, huh?
I'm booked solid.
20 pounds a day, and you hire Lord Christobal.
20 pounds? Well, now, that's a little bit more like it.
On the dock tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, huh?
You're on.
I show you where the Minerva went down.
I had played right into Webley's hands. I had given him a better way to keep the secret of the Minerva than he'd been able to find for himself. His salvage barge was an ideal place from which to work. I still suspected nothing next day when Chris and I started down to find the sunken ship. Webley had planted a fear of the hex in him, and he was still plagued by it. But he bravely went into the water. With Chris and me safely out of sight, Webley began preparing my death. He already had the murder weapon aboard the barge, the most innocent-looking weapon in the world, the diver's most valuable tool, the compressor, used to fill scuba tanks with life-giving air. Webley was preparing to change all that. The exhaust pipe of a gasoline-driven compressor is flexible so that it can be laid downwind from the air intake. Held directly in front of the intake, it blows deadly carbon monoxide gas through the compressor cylinders, through filters which are designed to take out solid impurities, but not to take out gas, into the diving bottle. Webley was filling this one with a sinister, deadly poison which I would not detect until it was too late. Chris and I had reached the Minerva's hull. We swam along it, making an initial inspection. The plates seemed to be in good shape. Then I saw it. Half-inch steel plates ripped open as though made of paper, ripped outward. That could mean only one thing, an explosion from inside. We would try to get into the hold from up on deck. I gave the signal for Chris to follow me. Inside the ship, a bulkhead kept us from the hold. The door leading through was sprung by the explosion. There was only one way to get into the hold. We would have to cut our way in with a torch. We started for the surface.
find her?
Yeah. With a hole in her bottom.
Oh, went on a rock, eh?
No. An explosion on the inside. I'm going to try to get in. I'll have to cut through a bulkhead. You rig for it?
Yeah. Break out the cutting torch. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go down with you, see we do a proper job. Oh, no one can handle a torch like I can.
Webley had set his trap. He knew that sooner or later I'd call for a fresh air bottle. And he had one ready for me. 2,200 pounds per square inch of choking, lethal poison gas. The cutting torch was ready. I was about to dive to the Minerva with a man whose object was murder. My murder. The man who had already killed one diver.
Hold this, will you? Okay, I'll take it down.
All right.
Dive deep, the big fish belly. Swim like the fishes if you can. Make believe you're not just a man. Dive deep, the big fish belly.
Webley put the torch to the first lug in the jammed door.
Dive deep, big fish belly. Swim like the fishes if you... Go away, Black One! You got no right to put the hex on me! Take your black hex off of me! Go away!
We could go through now. But Webley warned me that my air must be nearly exhausted. He was right. He went up with me to see that I got the right bottle. The poisoned one.
Go away. Go away. Looking folks are going to die. Don't look at me. Go away. Go away. Take your black hex off of me. Go away.
What's the matter with you? Get your diving gear on. We're going down. Oh, let me give you a hand, Mr. Nelson. Fresh tank for you, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Black hex enough for me. Go away! Folks are going to die.
Will you get your mind off what you're doing? Get your tank on.
Yes.
I go stow the torch, eh?
Yeah. Why don't you wear my tank? It's ready to go.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson.
What about this one here? Did you just fill it?
Yes, sir.
Give my regulator.
Yes, sir.
Ready to go?
Yeah, we're all ready. I'm not superstitious. I don't believe in hexes or omens or signs. But what weird coincidences forewarned Chris of what neither the murderer or the intended victim knew. That he was diving with a bottle of poisoned air. I showed Webley the hole in the hull to prove that it must have been made by an internal explosion. We left Chris outside as safety man and swam up to the hatch on deck. Carbon monoxide is odorless and tasteless. Although Chris began to feel its effect, he couldn't know why or what it was. Even with the lugs cut through, it took all our strength to open the door. Its hinges were sprung and out of line. We swam into the hold and found it empty. There was no cargo at all. The internal explosion now added up. It was the old double swindle. The cargo had been heavily insured, but it was never loaded on board. Then the ship was scuttled for the insurance. I suddenly saw it on the deck of the hold, the proof of fraud that the insurance company needed. A time fuse and detonator. I told Webley to signal Chris to join us. Chris saw Webley's signal and started to surface, planning to join us on the way up. Although he was weak and sick, he still didn't know why. Chris was waiting for us when we got clear of the Minerva. We all started up together. We didn't notice that Chris started to lag behind. He was weakening rapidly now. The carbon monoxide was doing its work.
You feeling all right?
Hey, sure, I feel all right. What?
Well, when I was on the bottom, I was feeling kind of sick. I thought maybe you felt the same.
There's Chris. Started up with us. Maybe he's in trouble.
No, the same thing might happen to you as happened to him. Something in the water, maybe.
What are you talking about?
I'm coming to this boat, and I say you're staying aboard.
Let go of me.
I say you ain't going down.
What's the matter with you? Your man's in trouble down there.
So long as I'm captain, you ain't going down. There ain't no more airlines.
Ahoy there! Ahoy there!
I got a diver in trouble on the bottom. You got any diving gear aboard?
No!
You got any oxygen?
We got a resuscitator aboard.
Well, I need it. Hurry up!
my mask.
What's he doing? Saturating his lungs with oxygen. Men have managed to stay down 8 or 9 minutes that way.
Webley! Webley! I should like to ask you a few questions about a diver named Lambert.
Even with my lungs saturated with oxygen, I had to watch my time carefully. And I had to conserve my energy. Work uses up oxygen quickly. At the end of 3 minutes, I was beginning to feel the strain.
How long is it? Almost 5 minutes.
I told her not to go down.
At the end of 5 minutes, I knew that I couldn't hold out much longer. There he was. My lungs and chest were already bursting, but I had to hold on. I had to keep from opening my mouth. I had to fight down the agonizing desire to breathe. Now that I had him, could I get him up in time? With my last bit of energy, I convulsively kicked for the surface.
There he is! The color of his lips, they're bright red.
Yeah, it's carbon monoxide poisoning. Probably from that compressor. Turns the blood bright red, shows up in the lips. That's why he didn't want me to go down after him.
I'm afraid there are some questions you'll have to answer about this too, Webley.
You're okay now, Chris, you're okay.
Yes. The black hex. The hex.
There's no hex, Chris. And there's no Webley either. Not anymore. Hello there. I'm Lloyd Bridges. Skin diving is fun and adventure for young and old, but it can be dangerous. So know the sport well and don't take any chances. Be with you next week for another exciting sea hunt.